Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. We're back to the best path of character series. And this week we're gonna talk about Laby. Well, since the balance patch hit NA, I'll keep covering the rest of our Elseworld party members. I'm sorry if I haven't covered your favorite character. This video will take more time to gather the info from other endgame players and my personal research. And in the midway of the chain of character reviewing, KOG just dropped the 4th path teaser of Elboy and Eve 2 days ago. I'm pretty hype about it. And they are dropping Elboy 4th path in 2 weeks. Well, more classes, meaning I have to do more cover video, I guess. Making video ain't easy. But thanks to the support you guys gave, I'm very motivated to build up this channel with you. So, starting from next path review video, I will make a poll on my YouTube community tab, and you guys will be deciding what should I do for next video. So make sure to subscribe to my channel for the latest update, and also find me on Instagram for all the news update coming up in KL server. Okay, so this week we are featuring Laby. Laby has short storyline like Noah does, which means her early game is quite short too. I personally won't waste the jumping event slot for them, since level up shouldn't be the major problem. Besides, you can just rank share all the goodies from jump event for them. Laby exclusive system is sentimental points. It will help enhancing her command attack and certain skills, so somewhat similar to our off system. 70 points are automatically consumed when Laby uses some certain special actives or performs her command attacks. So using Inner Aura to manage 70 points is very important. Her awakening system is kind of different from the rest. She automatically awakens when the gauge is full. A lot of players has the Ring of Fury, so that's why you see a lot of Laby awakening when entering the dungeon first seconds. And by pressing Ctrl key, Laby will cast the awakening skill instead of activating the awakening mode. It will give 1 second of crowd control and does certain damage. And also her awakening skill counts as great damage. Use it wisely for stage like raids. So first path, Eternity Winner. ETW is a pure damaging class. She is very interesting to play with because of her command activation skills. Her system is a bit confusing if you are new to her. So it's kind of like Aisha memorized system. You'll need to register the CA skills first, then active by different command keys. For example, I register Laby Thunder here. The skill won't cast right away when I press the skill key, and I will need to press Jump X to activate instead. And CA skills will become more powerful due to her Advanced Shot passive. And the Trance passive will boost her CD acceleration by using Awakening skill. So her clearing is quite nice. She got many good clearing skills, and the skill percentage are pretty high as well. 70 points even helps boosting skill for extra damage. But when it comes to bossing, she somewhat depends on the boss size to deal the maximum damage. But don't get me wrong, her bossing is still very decent. Mana wise, she got a good resource from her Mana Refund passive and the 3rd job passive, Recovery Bubbles, but she still burns mana quite fast, since she is a fast caster and got low CDL on her skills. When it comes to supporting, applying extra damage taken debuff for mobs is the only debuffing skill she got, and her debuff removal is kind of overlap with CC and CEL, which makes her support really poor. She has decent clearing damage, punching all the way as ETW is sorta fun to be honest. She's on the top tier DPS group in this meta. I mean, her damage is really solid. That exchange from supporting and mana burning are quite fair. Low CDL with skill resetting are indeed the fun part of her. Spamming all your skills are very satisfying. but she's not a very new player for any class. Her skill system is quite different from the rest, and you need to manage your senti point for extra damage. Kind of holds off player for trying her out. Mana burns out quickly even with the mana passive due to her low CDR. Weak support ability left her unwanted in Raid's party, if you are not the DPS yourself. Indeed, there are quite a good amount of Btw or Nisha player job trained to RES for raids, so the endgame environment is kind of harsh on her if you're not well geared. Her solid damage is remarkable, but I guess some sacrifice for the damage she has is worth it. Have fun punching all the enemies. Second path, Radiant Soul. I honestly think that 80% of Laby player are RES. I briefly talk about her on my other video. She is one of the most wanted support for endgame raids. RES system is very easy and straightforward, so basically you just use the active skill I'm helping, then the follow-up need help Laby skill will come with the extra skill effect. In another word, you just press the active skill whenever it's ready, before you are casting the special active skill. Simple as that. Her clearing is actually not bad since most of her skill have decent range, but don't expect the bossing damage from her. She traded off with her support abilities. Her mana management is okay. She got some NPR when using need help Laby skills, and Sun Shower helps her to regen mana as well. But if you have ESP on Skill City, spamming Sun Shower will help you to maintain her mana easier. That's why I rate her 3 to 5 since it kind of depends on your EE passive and ERP if you want better mana management. Supporting wise, she's the best out of 3 Labys. Party healing, damage reduction, attack speed buff, element and defense debuff for mobs. And pressing V is not just resetting the whole party skills, but helps adding skill and bossing damage. Who wouldn't love a RES in their party? So RES is one of the top tier support in this manner. Got many useful supporting buff and mobs debuff. Easy to pilot for new players. Her clearing is quite fair for early game to mid games. Party welcoming support for raids in general. Bossing damage is her downside. Again, there's a fair trade-off on her support utilities. And her mana management is somehow depends on your character setup. You need to use more potion before you have the correct ELP and gear setup. Her casting animation is quite long if compared within the Labys. Some of her skills don't scale with the attack speed, so might need to pay attention for the casting lag. I personally use RES to farm raids quite often. She's one of the popular support for a reason. If you ever felt hitting the bottleneck phrase, making an RES might help. Third path, Nisha. Third path storyline of Laby is the most dramatic one. Basically, you're controlling Nisha instead of Laby now. The story is quite interesting. Feel free to look it up. Nisha summoned Forest Friend to help battling, but instead of C type of auto-attacking summons, Nisha summons react to the Laby's friend skills. She got 4 types of summons. You can cast more than 1 summons together, so you will need to pick wisely for different situations. Summon not just give you self-healing of health and mana. You can set up to 5 growth stage, but resetting all of your skills as well. Her clearing is very decent. Fantasy is a great clearing skill that can curve and follow paths. Flower Garden and Mod Fantasy can pull big range of enemies together. If you can manage your summons well, clearing is just easy breezy. Her bossing damage is stable on all sizes, though her skill percentage is a bit low in general, which means her gear scaling is very important. I'll rate her bossing 3 to 5 depends on how well your gear building, summon management, and skills rotation. She's a class that's full of scaling potential. Mana-wise, she got skill mana refund and good mana resource from her passive, but you burn out mana quick if you don't have the right skills rotation. Supporting-wise, all her summons give different party buff, but due to her system, stacking summon buff is kind of hard to manage, which narrows down her support utilities. So pulling out physical damage buff and bossing damage buff are the easiest and the best way to buff the party, but I think she can still contribute as a support for physical damage parties. Nisha is pretty all-around character. Good clearing for general, good mana resource and got some support abilities. Her sanity points management is the easiest within all Laby, since it will recover every 1 second. Bossing size won't affect her damage much. Pretty stable for all raids if DPSing. Nisha is a pretty tanky class as well. She got good defensive passive, and share receiving damage with her summons, along with her forest friend healing passive. Her survive ability is quite strong, but I think her skill percentage is a bit low. You can't enjoy her true power if your gear and ERP are not built up. Also, you need to manage the self buff to ensure to deal the maximum damage. It's hard for her to stack all of her summons buff. Narrows down her support abilities. And also, she heavily depends on skill rotations. Mana burns out quickly if you're not familiar with her. Nisha is probably my personal favorite Laby. Playstyle, storyline, and character setting is one of the most interesting class in game. I agree she is an underestimated class now. To be honest, just a bit adjustment or buff on her skill percentage is all she needs. I do hope to see this class stands out on the spotlight again. All Laby classes are quite different. I feel like playing 3 different characters when playing all 3 of them. They're also unique and fun in their own way. Shout out to this Laby main player who provided all the info and details for this video. Thanks for all the helps and support. I really appreciate it. So, which Laby you like the most? Let me know on the comment section. Don't forget to check out my community tab and my Instagram page. Subscribe if you would like to support this channel. I'll see you all on next one.